Something extraordinary has just happened in British politics. What was meant to be a triumphant speech for Keir Starmer has instead triggered a shockwave that nobody in Labour saw coming. His words, his attacks, and his tactics have had an effect, but not the one he was hoping for. Let's break it down, but first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more. So, let's get right into it. Keir Starmer thought he was being clever. He thought that if he took the stage at Labour's conference and launched a full-blown attack on Nigel Farage and Reform UK, that somehow it would reassert his authority. He thought he could smear Farage, paint him as the so-called enemy of Britain, and dismiss Reform's policies as racist. But what happened? His entire strategy has backfired in spectacular fashion. A new poll has just dropped, and it's devastating for Labour. Reform UK has surged ahead, storming to a 10-point lead over Starmer's party. That is not a minor wobble, that's a seismic shift in British politics. And it comes directly off the back of Starmer's conference speech. Instead of putting Reform on the defensive, Starmer has effectively handed Nigel Farage a massive boost. Let's break this down. In his speech, Starmer went after Farage in unusually aggressive terms. He didn't just challenge policy, he resorted to name-calling, branding Farage's positions racist, and even going so far as to say that the dinghies crossing the channel, filled with illegal migrants, should now be called Farage boats. Think about that. Instead of taking responsibility for his own government's failures on the border crisis, Starmer tried to pin it all on Farage, but the British public isn't buying it. According to the More in Common poll, Reform UK's support jumped 2 points in the past week to hit 30%. Meanwhile, Labour collapsed by 5 points, slumping all the way down to just 20%. And this isn't some minor polling firm. This survey polled more than 2,000 people. That's a solid sample, and it shows a very clear message. Starmer's attacks have backfired. Now, Starmer tried to defend himself in the aftermath. He denied that he was trying to incite violence against Nigel Farage, because of course using words like enemy to describe your political opponents is dangerous ground. But he doubled down on his claim that Farage was to blame for the small boats crisis, all because of Brexit. His exact words to GB News were, "I would gently point out to Nigel Farage and others that before we left the EU, we had a returns agreement with every country in the EU, and he told the country it would make no difference if we left. He was wrong about that. These are Farage boats in many senses that are coming across the channel." So there it is. Instead of owning up to the fact that his government has failed to control Britain's borders, Starmer is now pointing the finger at Nigel Farage, a man who hasn't even been in government. And this is where the British public have had enough, because when ordinary people see record numbers of illegal migrants arriving by dinghy, they don't see Farage boats. They see a Prime Minister who is refusing to take responsibility. Nigel Farage, of course, fired back. He accused the Prime Minister of inverting the truth and said very clearly that Starmer was gaslighting the British public by attempting to blame everything on him. And you know what? That resonates. People are tired of the excuses, tired of the blame shifting, tired of leaders who refuse to deliver. And now the proof is in the numbers. Reform UK is not just rising slowly anymore. It has broken away, opening up a full 10-point lead over Labour. That's momentum you simply can't ignore. It shows the public is turning against Starmer's smear tactics and looking instead at who's actually speaking for them. The lesson here is simple. When you resort to name-calling and deflection, it often blows up in your face. Starmer may have thought that attacking Nigel Farage would weaken Reform. Instead, he strengthened them, and in the process exposed just how out of touch he really is. In other news, Ed Milliband has vowed to ban fracking during his speech at the Labour Party conference in Liverpool. Addressing the conference, the Energy Secretary declared he sent those frackers packing, calling out ex-Tory figures including Liz Truss and Sir Jacob Rees-Mogg. Mr Milliband told the conference, "We sent those frackers packing. I say let's ban fracking and vow to send this bunch of frackers packing too." Taking aim at Reform UK leader Nigel Farage, the Energy Secretary said him and his party are a job-destroying, bill-raising, poverty-driving, science-denying, Vladimir Putin-appeasing, young people betraying bunch of ideological extremists. He continued, "And we know where they want to go next because they have told us. Fracking. Fracking in your communities. Fracking will not take a penny off bills. It will not create long-term sustainable jobs. It will trash our climate commitments, and it is dangerous and deeply harmful to our natural environment. Friends, the good news is that communities have fought back and won this fight before, and will do so again. Mentioning the Conservatives, Mr. Milliband called out former Prime Minister Liz Truss's attempt to overturn the ban. He said, "Remember Liz Truss on her 42 days of disaster? The Tories tried to overturn the fracking ban led by Jacob Rees-Mogg. Remember him? Yeah, who could forget him either?" Demanding a ban on fracking, the Energy Secretary said, "Friends, I've got a message for you. We sent those frackers packing. I say, let's ban fracking and vow to send this bunch of frackers packing too." Taking aim at the Reform UK leader further, Mr. Milliband warned, "Reform would wreck everything we are doing. They've said they would wage war on clean energy, a culture war they are importing from the United States, driven by the rich and powerful interests who fund them. Let's spell out what Reform's war means. It's a war on the workers at the Siemens wind turbine factory in Hull. It's a war on the construction workers building carbon capture and storage in Teesside. It's a war on the workers at the new cable factory in Scotland, and a war on the working people of Britain." He added, "There is an all-out war on future generations too. I'm incredibly proud of British climate leadership. I'm incredibly proud of Labour climate leadership. And I say Reform's war on the future would betray every young person in our country and every person yet to be born. You see, the truth is, I wish Nigel Farage was just the snake oil Tory city boy we've known about for years. He's actually morphed into something even more dangerous. He's now a key part of a global network that wants to destroy the ties that bind our communities and our way of life. And I can sum up the threat for you in 2 words. Calling out tech mogul Elon Musk, Mr. Milliband added, Elon Musk. He incites violence on our streets. He calls for the overthrow of our elected government. He's an enabler of disinformation through X. He thinks he can tell us how to run Britain. Conference, we have a message for Elon Musk. Get the hell out of our politics and our country." Ed Milliband's speech in Liverpool was a fiery defence of Labour's green agenda and a direct attack on both the Conservatives and Reform UK. By vowing to ban fracking outright, the Energy Secretary framed the issue not just as an environmental battle, but as a fight for jobs, communities, and future generations. Taking aim at Nigel Farage, Liz Truss, Jacob Rees-Mogg, and even Elon Musk, Milliband painted fracking as a threat to Britain's energy future and climate commitments, while casting Labour as the party determined to lead on clean energy. His message was clear. Under Labour, fracking has no future, and those who back it will be sent packing once again. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comments section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.